Hey guys, Creator Mom. So, I said this before in another video, but if you want to understand more about the allegory behind the male and the female talk in the Bible, you know how like it says the husband is the head of the wife and things like that, the two flesh shall become one. Read the book Feeling is the Secret. It's not a long book. It's only like 48 pages. I feel like Neville Goddard really, really hits the nail on the head. And look, it's not talking about a male and female. When we preach the word through legalistic, like in the flesh, like, oh, that means you as a wife must submit to your husband. It angers people. Well, of course, why? Because it's not referring to that. It's not referring to the flesh. It's referring to the spirit, to your literal own self, the conscious and the subconscious. He says the conscious impresses or impregnates the subconscious through feeling, right? Feeling, intimacy, emotion. How does that feeling and emotion come? Through thoughts, ideals, beliefs that produce feelings that impress or impregnate the womb, the subconscious, and then the subconscious expresses or gives birth to that which you feel yourself to be, to who you are. It's all talking about that kind of stuff. It's not talking about religiousness. So I think that, this is what people are talking about when they say, like, you can't just, go into prayer and, like, get what you want and, like, use God, or there is no way around God, and God is within you. There's no way around yourself, facing yourself. Like, we always face ourselves because we express who we are. We express who we are being. So, there's no real, like, way around self-inquiry, asking oneself, what do I believe? What am I believing that's expressing in my reality, It's not a blame thing. Don't see it from a blame thing, like wanting to blame people for the situation. It's not like that negative. It's more about empowerment, right? Empowering people to know this is the gospel. This is what people need to know about Christ in them, the power within them to create. This is what people, in bad situations need to know. You know what I mean? Things to empower them. This is not to blame anybody. So he says here, the whole thing is valuable. The whole book is a gem. But he has a section on prayer, and he says prayer is the art of yielding to the wish and not the forcing of the wish. Because remember, the female, the subconscious, doesn't like forced compulsion, which makes sense because, in the parallel physical worlds, females like intimacy, like to be loved. They don't like forced abuse, like compulsion, right? Whenever your feeling is in conflict with your wish, feeling will win, he says. Feeling will be the victor. So you could want something or think you want something, but how you feel about yourself is going to win over, whatever that desire is. Like if you want success, or you want more money and abundance in your life, but you feel poverty, you feel like you're poor, like you're never going to make it, like you're always falling behind. All those ideas are impressing and impregnating your subconscious mind with the feeling of being poor, because that's who you are being. So it says the dominant feeling invariably expresses itself. Prayer must be without effort. In attempting to fix an attitude of mind, which is denied by the senses, effort is fatal. So you feel like you're in poverty. Your senses show you that you are in poverty. But he's saying if you try to fix this with a lot of effort and force, it's going to be fatal, because He says all conscious effort to counteract your already in place suggestion is futile, and it tends to intensify the suggestion. So instead of being using a lot of force, he suggests to relax. Okay, the next section is important. He says to yield successfully to the wish, right? So I want to yield to my desired end. To yield successfully to the wish as an accomplished fact, you must create a passive state, a state of reverie or meditative reflection, similar to the feeling which precedes sleep. So basically, yield to feeling relaxed. Get into a meditative state. Get into a relaxed state. In such a relaxed state, the mind is turned from the objective world and easily senses the reality of the subjective state. So you want to get into a place where you're not so focused on the outer physical world, but your inner world becomes more apparent and you feel that more than what you feel on your outer world. So you want to get into the reality of the subjective state. It is a state in which you are conscious and quite able to move or open your eyes, but you have no desire to do so. So yeah, just create a passive state and then imagine and picture form what you desire to achieve in life, and then feel yourself as having already achieved it. So yeah, getting into that passive state is because when you're in the state of stress and panic and fear and where like all the things around you, the situation is screaming at you, there's no way that you're going to accept any other idea. You know, you're too caught up in the feelings of the situation. So that's why getting into a relaxed state, a meditative state, in whatever way works for you, you know, whether that's through prayer, laying down and meditating, like worship, maybe a little singing, get into a state that lets you feel the way that you desire to feel. Yeah. And so he says that having witnessed the end, regardless of any acclimatic sequence, you remain calm and secure in the knowledge that the end has been perfectly defined, and the end determines the means by which all of it will come to pass. Call your desires into being by imagining and feeling your wish fulfilled. As the end is accepted, you become totally indifferent as to possible failure, for acceptance of the end wills the means to that end. When you emerge from the moment of prayer, it is as though you were shown the happy and successful end of a play, although you were not shown how the end was achieved. So, again, the acceptance of the end wills the means to that end, and it's all about impressing that feeling and impregnating the subconscious womb with the new feeling, and to help us to get into a new loop. All right, it's a great book. Read it if you want. Have a great happy New Year day, 2025, bitches.